Okay, now this is something that come as a bit of a surprise as far as upcoming releases are concerned, especially considering the fact that these type of devices are so old and to a point where it's considered to be obsolete. But at the same time, for those who grew up in the 90s, I'm pretty sure you guys, probably had a hold of this when you were 3 or when you were 4 or 5 or, when you were a toddler. And you probably had a lot of fun with it, even though you knew that it just looked very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very like flimsy compared to what you would see on your Sega Genesis or your Nintendo or Super Nintendo or whatever. But at the same time, it was pretty fun to have when you didn't have a Game Boy and you just needed to do something or just kill time when you were pretty much somewhere you didn't want to be and you just needed something to play. So I'm pretty sure you guys all remember Tiger's Retro LCD handheld, game, I guess, gaming device or game system that pretty much it allowed, people to, play, several different types of games such as Sonic, X-Men, Transformers, and Little Mermaid on basically, it was basically like a setup that had mono chromatic graphics and it was basically displayed on the top of a colorful backdrop, and basically with it you just saw like flashing black little graphics with the backdrop, and it looked very impressive. And I guess the artwork on the on the outside with what you saw pretty much sold it. You saw it and as a kid and you were impressed by it, and even though like you hardly had any buttons to press and you had just a couple in terms of like controlling the sound and turning it on and turning it off, and and I guess like the control pad or whatever. Basically, it was something that was kind of cool. It was a bit flashy, and I guess like nowadays it's something that just looks very bad and just looks very cheap and whatever. But they're supposed to be making a comeback in fall of 2020, and I believe the pricing for the Tigers Retro LCD is supposed to be $14.99 plus tax, and if anything, this could be more of a collector's item than it would be something that people would enjoy. People who are, I guess, not toddlers would definitely enjoy. If you're like a toddler, or you have toddlers who are, I guess, 3, 4, 5 or whatever, probably, I don't know, I'd say maybe 2, 3, or 4 or whatever, who just, I wouldn't even say two, I would say like maybe 3 or 4 or maybe 5, who basically wouldn't like, know the difference between mobile gaming and this, and is just impressed by anything that they see, that I guess this is for them. Or you could just collect it and probably resell it online on eBay or on, or Amazon or what have you. And but the fact that this is actually going to be a thing and it's making a comeback is pretty cool. But especially like considering how much gaming in general has evolved, it's not really believable that Tiger's Retro LCD handheld games is going to do too well in sales, and if they do, it would be really surprising. I mean, as far as gaming is concerned, we have various different types of things that people are looking forward to, and especially considering the fact that this is coming out later in 2020. It's hard to believe that Tiger's Retro LCD is going to have any more success than the Neo Geo Mini did when it first came out, especially considering the fact that we have the PlayStation 5 coming out later in 2020. We have Project Scarlet coming out later in 2020, and unfortunately those are things that might possibly overshadow Tiger's Retro LCD handheld games following its upcoming release later in the year. But at the same time, like the nostalgia with this is pretty strong. I'm pretty sure there are a lot of people who, I guess, remember this from the 90s and they'll probably, collect it because years from now or later in the 2020s decade, it'll probably be more valuable once it's no longer available in retail. Who knows? But this announcement regarding the upcoming release of the LCD handheld games is something that really has a lot of people talking right now, and Even though we're getting, I guess, 4 confirmed titles with Sonic, the X Men, Transformers, Little Mermaid, there may be more on the way. We'll just have to wait and see as time passes by.